Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. Do I have a good video for you today? I am actually going to be making 3 shanks and weapons, prison weapons that I used and had in prison. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Before I get started, please check us out on YouTube member programs. Like and subscribe what we're doing. If you like that live program we're doing, check that out as well. Check out my book, Gangster Redemption. This video, chapter 9. You're going to read a lot about weapons and stuff in prison in my book, Gangster Redemption, chapter 9. Check out my cigars, Crooked Diamond. I love them, they're going well. crookeddiamondcigar.com. Please check us out on all our social media programs and like and subscribe. All right, let's jump right into a great video. I am going to be making 3 different types of weapons that were in prison. Now, I'm a professional and don't do this at home, only if you go to prison. And don't go to prison. Make good choices, people. You know I do this as an educational method. The first shank or prison weapon I'm going to make is the first thing I learned in prison when I was a 17-year-old kid. It is a razor comb. And you're going to see exactly how I make a razor comb in prison. And a quick story while I'm making this. You know, sadly, in prison, you get very hyped up. You understand what's going on. And for the first while you're in prison, you're scared. I don't care who you are. And I don't even know if I could call it scared, but you're on edge. You're ready to do things. You have to defend yourself. And when you're in maximum security prisons like I was, it's even at a different level. So I want you to understand that. So this first thing I'm going to make, I'm going to show you how we used to get the razors to do what we're going to do and how to make a razor comb to defend yourself. That's what we did in prison, and that's the first one we're going to do. So let's start out right way we're going to do this. First thing you got to know is in prison, you would get a razor blade to shave. Even in the hole, when you're in special housing unit, the SHU, they would actually give you a razor twice a week, and they'd say you get the razor. Now, what they would do is issue you the razor, open the chute door, pass the razor through, give it to you. You have to give it back. The guard is going to then make sure that it has a razor in it. And then when they do that, they give it back so you don't have any weapons. You don't have a razor. This is in the hole now. Now, on the yard, you did have a razor to shave, so it was a little bit easy to get that stuff. Razors were pretty much common on the yard. Now, that doesn't mean you were allowed to disassemble a razor. Wasn't mean allowed you can make a weapon out of it, because you can't. You're going to go to the hole. Once you alter something, that alone is an infraction in the prison rules. So you'd get a razor. First of all, you had combs. Everybody had a regular comb. So this is just a regular little comb. When I had hair, now I have hair for here. But when you had hair, matter of fact, I should start using this. I like the beard. Okay, so you had that. You have your stuff. Now here's what we used to do. First of all, you get a razor, a big razor. You take it like here. Now this is just a razor, so you can see it. It's just a razor blade in it. You can see it, everybody, right? Now, you can see it again. So what you do is you take off the backs. There's little things right here. There's a little thing right on the bottom, and you could take that off. And you could use different weapons, and you take this off. And then you have a razor. So this is what you use. Now, I'm going to be making a razor comb with this, so it's going to be a little bit different. But these are valuable, and I'll tell you what you use them for. It's not just a weapon, people. It's how you sharpen a pencil. How are you going to sharpen a pencil? Yes, you do it on the concrete wall, but when you really want to get something sharp. You know, you use razor blades for more things than you think. Whether it's cutting something off of cloth, making a different kind of shirt, doing something of that nature. You do a lot of different things with a razor blade. Now, what did I do? Okay, now I always had razor blades. So when the guard came back, I made it. What you would do is you would get a magazine. First thing you do is you have your razor. Now you take it out, you get magazines. Obviously, I cut out that razor right there. So here it is, your razor. So all you do is you cut something out in the same color, a gloss. Usually you get a magazine, you get the gloss. So you have your razor, and the reason you did that is so when you give the guard back the razor, It's here. So it looks like there's a razor in here, and you just give it back to him. He looks at the razor, and he dumps it in a bag. He carries a bag around with him, takes it in, dumps it in, and he has a razor. Now, this is the razors now. So the guard sees that there's a razor in there. That's all he cares about. He sees the gloss. It's the gloss on the paper that gets it good. And then to hide, you always hide your razors. Everybody razors are pretty easy to hide, obviously. I would hide my razor in a magazine. I would just get the magazine like this. And there's the razor, and I would do like that. And here's my magazine and a razor. And people get magazines in prison all the time. So now I have my razor. What do? I get a comb. You start, and this takes a lot of time, but it's normal. You start doing this, and you keep taking your razor, and you get multiple, and you keep going like this. See what I'm doing, everyone? And I'm taking that razor, I'm putting it in there, and I'm cutting it. And look at that. I am getting it. I'm getting it down pat. See, I am actually making this I'm making a groove is what I'm doing. I am making a groove with a razor in the comb. And I tell you, see, this is a weapon that's we used to not call this a lethal weapon. Anything could be lethal. Because when I make it, you'll see what I mean when I demonstrate how to use the weapon. And I actually used one of these. I'm not proud of what I had to do, but I did do things to save my life. So you take your razor like I'm doing, and you cut this. Then you take your razor, and you put the razor in the top like this. And then what you would do, now with fire, you could do it a lot of different ways. It's great because when you have on the yard, you could go to the kitchen, the kitchen guys, or you make a burner. You can actually make a burner out of toilet paper, and you can do that as well. So I would take this then, and you can then take matches or any flame that you make. You can take. I'm going to take 2 matches. Heat this right here. Do not have to heat it a lot, people. All you're doing is this is plastic. So what I am doing is I'm just heating it right here. And then I'm taking another object and I'm pushing it together. And you are literally melting that razor blade into that thing so it cannot come out. And it gets come out. As you can see, by charring it, you see how black it gets? It's charred. So it's dark, so you could barely see it. This is not a piece of gloss you're seeing sticking out, but this, ladies and gentlemen, is a razor blade. And what do you do with a razor blade? You can now take a page or you cut. As you can see, look, if it gets weak, you just got to go push it. And actually, I should let it harden. When you let the plastic harden around the blade, it's good. And then you have this, you carry it in your pocket. In your jumpsuit, you actually have a pocket in the jumpsuit in county jail, or even, I made these in county jail. I learned how to make these in a county jail. In fact, you used to take razor blades like this and put them in your tongue, in your cheek, and you carry them from place to place. But now you have this razor blade, and if you want to mess with someone, you just whoosh, whoosh. And I cut a man like this, blood went all over his shirt, and I find out later that this man was actually there to give me a Bible. Now, did I feel bad? Yes, I did. I didn't need to hurt him, but at that point, I was a scared young kid, and I didn't know what to do. And that's the things you have to do. But this is the razor comb. And this is a weapon in prison that you'll see quite often. So if you see a guy with a razor, a comb, and you see him playing with it a lot, believe me, he has one on him, whether it's the one he's using or not, that's got a razor in it. And it's me, and that's something we did a lot. So that's the razor combs. This next weapon, we used to call them pokers. Pokers are things that you could jab someone with, get in them, hit them hard. It's not a very sharp blade. It's a pointed blade. There's difference. A pointer is like almost like a pencil that can get in. A pencil will break. It's the cheaper wood. You make things that will go in you. In fact, they're one of the worst weapons in prison because that's how they usually kill you. I watched a man get stabbed 30 times. And it's pokers that do that. Slicing knives are very rare. They're there, and they're made usually with a locker, piece of a metal on the top of a locker, filed down, or actual stuff that's made in the shops in the unicorn, what they call. But I'm gonna make a poker because all of these weapons that I'm showing you, I've personally made in prisons. So obviously we get a piece of wood. Now, the piece of wood, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do because I'm gonna walk outside with it. This would be left on the yard because these are hard. Yes, you can suitcase them, which we did. This is what you actually walk through the metal detectors with. You have an end of a toothbrush holder. You have the whatever you're going to use as your poker that goes into your handle, you'd have in here, and then this goes in your rectum, and you hide it in your rectum. And you had to do that. It's not being funny. You had to do that because you had to get through 3 metal detectors. Now, if you go through a metal detector, and this is in your rectum with a piece of metal in it, it's going to still go off. But the officers don't know if you have a fake knee from an operation, a bullet in you. So they shake you down, they'll split you, they'll even strip search you. Get out of clothes, Lawton. You get up, you lift your nuts, you turn around, you spread your thing. They can't find anything. It's in you. It's inserted in you. It's called suitcasing. Now, this is what you would take back and forth because this is the most important part of the weapon. Now, the handle of the weapon you got from a lot of different objects, from the machine shops, from down goal posts, things they make in the recreation yard, broom handles, stuff of that nature. When you got this, you bored a hole, which I did already. You bore a hole, and you use a lot of different things to bore a hole. If you can get lucky and you get someone from the guys, see, they have what they call CMS. In CMS, they're the guys who come around and fix things, and the lighting, the electricians, and they're always with a guard, but that guard is not over. A guy can walk into your cell for 2 minutes, 2 seconds, and drill something quick for you. That happens all the time. It's quite common, in fact. Or they take screws off of a door or something that we would need, and nobody would know, and if they were good, especially in penitentiaries, where there's a lot of convicts, we all stick together. So you had this. Now, you didn't want to go back and forth with this as well, because this, with the sticker in it, obviously is going to be a longer, harder thing to carry. But this will save your life, because it saved my life. I was in a fight. Now, if I didn't have this weapon, this exact weapon, I'd probably be dead, and I wouldn't be on this YouTube channel talking to you. But I'm going to show you exactly how we did it. So now, let's go outside, and I'm going to tell you how I did this and what I'm going to get as well. Let's go. Now, it's important to understand this. It's nighttime. But if you work on the yard, like I did on East Yard, it gets dark early. So now, I would have to go through 3 metal detectors. Yes, you have the shank suitcase. What you would do is you would have this. This is your handle. You would leave this on the yard. Now, this is going different places along the yard. You walk around paths, and there's always paths. You have this hidden. It's here, so you can't see it. Now, when the guards run metal detectors, they can't pick them because the guards understand that we're hiding stuff on the yard. So they're not looking, they're just running metal detectors up and down the paths. Well, they're not going to pick up wood. So I would be walking with a bunch of friends. I end up going, like I'm tying my shoe. I pick up this, and I have that. Now that's in my pocket. The next thing I do, I'm walking with my friends, and we're just hanging out. We're all rapping and talking. And what do? If you stop down, your friends are around, you say, hey, well, hold on. And you actually do this. Look what I'm doing. I'm taking a shank out of my rectum, right here. I'm taking it out. I pick it up and put it in my pocket. That's how you would take it. Now I'm gonna show you how we would get the things we'd put in the things to poke. Come on. Okay, now I work the East Yard. Obviously there's fences all over in the East Yard in Atlanta, and I would have the pooper scooper. But guys would say, hey, look, can you get me one of the chain fence links? These are what they are. You look down here, you see this right here, everybody? These are here all over the place. You look at any fence you go to anywhere, even in your own house. So we would work these out like this. And I mean, now you would take these down, you bend them, you bend the other one, and you get them around. This is what I would be a total. Now, obviously, one, it's kind of flimsy, but this will go right in you. Right in you. You have this, and you can do it, you put it in here. And I'm gonna bring it back into the office and show you how we make it from there. Let's go. Okay. So this is what you get when you get off. It's called the fence. They have them. You see, and what people don't understand, this is not from an outside fence that you're getting. No, that's not what, you're not getting to that outside fence at prison. They'll have double fences and barbed wire and concertina wire, whatever they call it. Now these can be they're not a steel, hard steel. Like, I'm gonna show you something, but they have it like this. So you get multiple ones. Then you take them and you put them together. Now, once you do that, it's a lot stronger. If you want to get ambitious and you're really looking to kill someone, 2, 3. That's what I did. If you're going to do it, you do it right. Yes, I have strong hands. People said somebody said I had strong hands. I do. Now, when you take this in, this would be, I would have this a little bit longer. And we always had tape. We always would get tape from different parts of the yard and stuff. Then I would do this. I'm gonna show you. I don't wanna do my own. And I'm gonna show you what you do then. You take this. Now, when you made one of these that you didn't transfer back and forth to the yard, the handle is what you have to hide. But in the house, or we used to call it the house, in the prison itself, I had 3 different weapons I had. 3 that I used to keep. Now, to do this a little better when I was getting really ambitious, I used to get glue and put glue down in there. Like, you know, like they'd have like model glue, but not, you wouldn't get model glue. They had glue in certain parts of the down in the arts department. Guys who had worked, they had a leather shop, one, and they had a like, you know, painting and leather and stuff like that. So you can get certain things like that. Now, I would make this. I had so many. You get so good at it. You see the next one I had. I'll show you what you do with it after that. I would make it pretty, because that's just the way I was. Trouble. So you would take this weapon, and I'll put these all together when I'm done. And I'd have this, and I'd take this, and I want to show you where I would sharpen them. Now, come with me and check this out. So now, you take your shank, and you'd be on the yard all the day like this. See what I'm doing? Look at it. You can't even see what I'm doing. It's behind my arm. Right here. And you see guys doing this along with a couple of friends around them. And you'd see them doing this all day long with different stuff. We do it with steel, with anything. And you'd see spots that literally had wore out concrete. Because the concrete is like it's like a sharpener. Look at that. I'm going to demonstrate all of these weapons in a minute. Okay, and the final weapon. And again, like I said, I'm going to demonstrate these weapons. All the kitchens in prison I was at never had steel. Plastic. They had plastic knives, but watch what you can do with a plastic knife. You accumulate them. Everybody had these in their cells, and it was normal. You actually were allowed to have a set, and they would sell some of this on the commissary. And you could even buy these sets. So the first thing you did was you get 3 of them, and you went like this. You're making your handle. Because like I said, when I demonstrate what these things can do, you will see how deadly these weapons can be. Now, as you can see, you want it to be where it feels good in your grip. Now, as we all know with plastic, it burns and it melts. It literally melts. So what you do, once you got fire, this is going to harden, and then you take this to that same concrete pit, which I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you what happens then. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. Let me get up and go to the pit. Now this is another weapon. Dangerous weapon. You're going to see what I mean when I demonstrate all 3 of these weapons. All right, now I have this weapon. Obviously, you don't think this is strong? I'm going to demonstrate all 3 of these weapons right now. Because this is the weapons that could save your life. And this is how we used to call, of course, prisoners are called MacGyver, and if you're young, if you don't know who MacGyver is, go check it out. All right, Nick, I need your help. Can you come here, Nick? I have all 3 of these weapons, the way I made them. Okay? These are the weapons, everybody. Okay, people. The first weapon I made was a razor comb. Obviously, if you're fighting someone and you're doing this, and you cut right there, see? Ooh. Look at you can see the cuts. Cuts right there. See if I can see that. That's a razor comb. Very dangerous weapon. But it's really not a killer weapon unless you hit across the throat. But it's not a weapon for killing. It was a defensive weapon to get people away from it. Everybody's coming around. You whack, 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 whack. Easy, I'm not gonna get you. Next weapon I made. Now this weapon on the yard literally saved my life because I had to take my weapon out. And double-edged, thick cardboard. That would go through your skin. That's what would happen to you with that weapon. Now, you think of 3 knives, how can they hurt you? These little plastic knives, right through. Here, Nick. You're done. Look at me. I seen someone stabbed 30 times there. Yes, they died. Well, people, that's prison weapons. That's the world I lived in, and I don't want you to live in it. Well, people, those are prison weapons. These are stuff that will kill you or hurt you very badly. The guards got to deal with them, and you, as an inmate, have to deal with them as well. You don't need to make choices like I did. Don't learn this stuff the hard way. Learn it from me. But make good choices, everybody. I hope you learned a little something today. Come back for the next video. You have a great day, everybody. Please make good choices. Stay out of prison. Thanks for your support. Like and subscribe if you haven't, and pass the word. Have a great day, everybody.